there, my name is Polina and I'll try to guide you through the gap analysis template, explaining, sharing with you what's going on here. So right now we're on the gap planning whiteboard, which was opened from our wonderful About Framework guide, but you can also open it from the left menu. So this whiteboard is something that you can really use on your daily basis and create something on your side, or you can just use it to better understand what's going on here. So gap analysis or gap planning framework, it's focused on defining your current situation, your desired state where you want to be, and what is missing, what is blocking you from being in your desired state, and what can be done to overcome those issues, to close the gaps, what has to be done. So it suggests the 6-level hierarchy structure, which starts from the focus area. So focus area goes probably from your initial hypothesis, what can be changed on your product on high level. So where the problem is it in the user experience, or maybe your product is missing something itself, or maybe the problem is somewhere in the marketing. So the focus area is the area where you believe there are some gaps which you can work with. Then, once you decided what your focus area will be, there can be many of them. Let's maybe go here. So there can be many of them. It's nice to add them once you think of them, and they can have their states, like whether it requires improvement or all good or even abandoned. Like maybe you had such kind of area before, but you don't have it anymore, it was an experiment, something like this. And then you define which of them, maybe 1, 2, maximum 3, will be in focus right now. Then you set some objectives. So these are business goals, the direction you're going to go through, something you want to focus on. So we want to improve user experience. It's pretty broad objective, I would say. So it's up to you, how do you want to keep it. Then you have to conduct some interviews, run some surveys, at least make analysis of the current state, what's going on right now. So you have to discover both problems, because this will be like our basis of what do we going to work on, but it will also be nice to see some praises. What's cool do you have right now in the current state you're proud of? Maybe you can empower it, and this will also improve our focus area. So in our case, we have 2 current states, problem and praise. The product currently has a complex user interface, so we can think about desired state in this case, and customer support team is amazing and loved by customers. Maybe you can highlight this better, and more customers will go to the customer support team, and their frustration will be a little bit lower. But of course, it's always easier and makes definitely sense to focus on problems. Then, once you defined your current states, you have defined your desired state. So it's an ideal future condition or outcome. This is where we want to be in a specific time frame. And this is reaching those desired states means that our objective will be reached. So if we talk about current state and desired states, they are both visualized here, like on this table, where we see the focus area, the quarter we have this objective for, and which current states and desired states do we have, and it also lives on this wonderful board. So if you have multiple objectives, it will be like a nice drop down. So this is just up to you which one you prefer, like the board or the table. Okay, then you defined what your desired state is, what is your current state, and now it's time to think about gaps. So gaps, this is something what we are missing that prevents us from reaching the desired state. So the problems we have to focus on. And as you see, there is identification. It's like optional, this is not a must, but this is just nice approach you can learn more about from articles which are linked in About Framework document. So it just helps to think about the problems, about the gaps from multiple perspectives. Are there any knowledge gaps? So maybe we can educate our users better. Maybe they're not motivated enough, so then it's about the marketing. Maybe they don't have enough skills, maybe our product requires skills, and then we have to think about the academy. So it's something between skills and knowledges, correct? Maybe it's about environment, so our product is very slow and we can improve our performance, and that will be enough to motivate users, for example. So it just helps you to better understand which kind of gaps prevent you. It doesn't mean that you have to solve all of them. So knowing about the problem doesn't mean that you have to focus all of them at the same time, just because your resources are very limited. So then you can go two ways. The first one is that you can generate actions, like what can be done to close a particular gap, and then prioritize those actions with the framework you prefer, like rice, ice, whatever you like. Or you can first prioritize gaps. Which of them do you want to address? And only for the gaps you want to address, you generate the actions. So prioritization may happen on any of those levels. And also, even if you generated some ideas how to solve it, don't delete them even if you decide not to do them right now. Let it stay in your backlog, so in the future you could not just regenerate those ideas, rediscover your gaps. You can go and see maybe the problems are still the same like in 2 years, but now you have time and effort to address them, and there are also some actions which can still be relevant across the time. So this is why we have every gap also has a state. We have it here on the board where you can see gaps grouped by state and by desired state. So what's the difference here? State, it is whether we are going to focus on this gap or not, we're working on it, and maybe we will not solve it, are we going to address it? And desired state is to which desired state this gap belongs to. Because we can have multiple desired states from different objectives, from different focus areas, and each of them will have its own set of gaps. So this is a two-level grouping. And then we have actions by state. So what can be done? Of course, here we can make it look a bit better as well. So you can play around and group them by the desired state, or you can group them by gap, or I don't know, maybe by assignees who is responsible for a particular action. You can also make it a bit more friendly, like show gap here, or desired state like this. So this is up to you. And if you open, let's maybe go to the early beginning. If you open any card, inside it will have a description field. So it's description, it's a rich text, it's a document where you can emphasize why have you decided to focus on this area and briefly describe the current state. This documentation can be reviewed on a regular basis. This is absolutely okay. Let's maybe hide this one. Okay, and also you will see everything related to this focus area. Here you can create new objectives as well as you can create them on the previous table. You can also open objective. Let's maybe open it like this. It will also have its own description and explanation. What is this objective about? As you see, objective can be planned by quarters. If you don't need it, just delete the quarter table. Maybe you can plan them by a specific time frame. In this case, you can just add dates field and set the duration like this. And here you also emphasize what this objective is about, what has to be done, and you see here linked states, preferred one and current one. You can also add them here, or you can add them in a board or in the table. Of course, there is also current state, which will also have some document inside, and there is a preferred state, which also has some document inside. Desired, preferred state, the same thing. And when we are on the desired state level, we see all the related gaps and all the related actions. So they are also here, show you the type they belong to. You can create something here, or you can do this on any of the boards. It doesn't matter where you add it, it will be added everywhere simultaneously. And if you open the gap, it's also important to explain the gap, especially if you want to focus on it. So what the problem is, how maybe our competitors solve this problem, how the users share their frustration about that. And this description will live here. And also you can try using AI. In our case, there is only a single button here. Let me show you. In fact, it just has a custom prompt, so you can change the prompt. You can add such a button to any of the levels, to any type of the card. So this button, when you click on it, it checks our description, what this gap is about, which problem do they have, and then it suggests us action plan, potentially which actions can be done to overcome this issue. So you can use this, you see, oh, there are some actions. If you like some of them, you can highlight the part which you liked and turn it into the action. So right now we just created something from text itself, and this action appeared here, and of course it appeared here as well. Default state for the actions is an idea. So if we go to the structure here, we have 6 primary databases and 1 technical one, so if you like, sign in by the quarter. Everything here is a no-code. That means that you can edit any field, you can add your states, you can add something new. You can also create automations if you like. For example, I don't know, if the quarter end is so soon and our objective is not finished yet, please let me know. You can customize actions table and add here a RISE or ICE framework. The same can be done for the gap database. So that's up to you how to customize it. If you have any questions, please ping us here in the help support button through the human support or AI support if you don't like real humans. That's up to you. They're weird sometimes. And this is it. Thank you for watching.